Are you like a crazy person?
I'm quite sure they will say so.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
Hey kids, this is the Tech Jedi coming at you with episode 94 of the Mean Geek, Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility. With me as usual, the Reverend Mad Duck,
Quack.
who always misses his fucking cue specifically to irritate me.
We have
He
cues?
knows he does it. He don't even lie, you furry bitch.
Cues? Like, literally, we have
You know,
a
when
set
someone is
opening?
speaking,
Right.
and then they give you a hand, that hand is obviously a cue to do something, to say something, to move forward.
Ah, okay. But why would I move? Like, it's not a visual.
Not that
podcast.
kind of forward, asshole. Think. To say something,
So, when you do this
which is extending an open hand in your direction.
in a gesture of good fellowship, I should assume that you mean for me to speak.
What, do you want me to point at you?
No, that seems demeaning somehow.
See, that's rude. That's what I'm saying. So you gotta do this thing.
Is this rude slamming a door in someone's face?
It totally is not. But that's irrelevant. And I'm not bothering with the story because it's too dumb. So fuck off. I hear you've been doing a nerdy thing this past couple weeks. You're very, very late to the game, so to speak.
Oh, yes. Okay. Wow, subtle code. Yes, I have played well, how would I know how much I played of the first Batman Arkham Asylum game? Those of you who listen on a regular basis know that I played for about 4 seconds once about 2 years ago. Maybe it was a year, I don't really remember. It's been quite some time. And this time I've gotten fairly far. I just beat Harley Quinn. I don't know, like you've played the game.
Yep.
Where is that in terms
That's
of...
about a third.
About a third. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
It's a big game.
How
You
many
haven't gone up
bosses are
against
there?
Poison Ivy yet, right?
Nope.
Yeah, you still got Poison Ivy to look forward to.
I have fought Harley Quinn, Zaz, although really I just threw something at him and he fell down. So I
Pretty
don't know
much,
if that
yeah.
qualifies as a
That totally
boss.
doesn't count as a boss.
And Bane.
Yes. So yeah, you're slightly more than a third through, I guess.
So if who's still there boss wise? I mean, Scarecrow's shown up twice, but I assume he shows up again.
You'll see Scarecrow one more time.
Do you see him in person? Because I really want to
No.
punch that dude based on
No.
those levels annoy the piss
Those
out of me.
totally annoy me. And I'm so glad that they didn't. Oh, wait, they did. Never mind. There are many other irritating things going on in
The second
the
one?
second one.
Arkham City.
And I don't need them in that. This is why I don't generally play games originally developed for a console. Because you get goofy shit like, let's put you in a hallucination and then make you run around and, oh, you jumped wrong, you're dead, fuck you. That ain't, the platformer thing is not my ideal fucking game mechanic. But we're here talking about your experience today.
It's a pretty damn impressive game.
Yeah?
Yes, it looks great. It's very it's playable without being overly simple or overly challenging. So that's
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
Now, how many more bosses can you remember? Like, if I saw Bane, if I saw Harley Quinn,
Right?
and Zaz,
Yeah. You got to fight a juiced up Joker, Ivy.
Croc is in there somewhere.
Croc is in there somewhere, and another run at Scarecrow at least.
Okay.
Well, not at least.
No Scarface?
No Scarface.
Damn.
Which is irritating, isn't it? I would have loved to go up against fucking Wesker and Scarface.
No love for the ventriloquist.
It's lame.
Now, you've also played Arkham City.
I have.
And what are the bosses? Now, you didn't finish, however.
I did
because
not
you got
finish Arkham
pissed
City.
at somebody.
I'm not going to lie. I got up to Mr. Freeze and it pissed me off to such a degree, I gave it right back to you. No, you can't defeat him this way. You have to fight him one method at a time, and that method won't work again. So if you jump up out of the floor, you then gotta jump out of the ceiling. But to get to the ceiling, you have to beat him with the fucking... Just let me punch him till he falls. That's what fucking Batman does. He punches people till they fall.
Now, so what villains did they have in the second game?
I don't know.
Mr.
You've
Freeze.
now irritated me by making me talk about Mr. Freeze.
What else was there? You were enjoying it up till him.
There is a weird little thing that they make you do to catch Ra's al Ghul. You got to fly around and do this gliding thing and not miss, because if you miss, you can't fire a bat line. You just die. And then he's got this weird little set of ninja demi-bosses you have to go up against. And those were okay. Boss-wise, it's already been 3 months.
Wow.
And it irritated me. So I had to give it up. I can't even think about it anymore. Fuck it.
Well, I cleared things up well.
That's what I'm about, really. What are we watching, dude?
A film called The Warrior Way.
Yeah?
Apparently samurai and western. So, I'm destined by law to watch it.
Okay, it seems like a good start, Although I'm wondering about the efficacy of Kate Bosworth in any role.
Well, I mean, she was Lois Lane.
Exactly.
Yeah, but was Lois Lane... Was there... When you're bashing that film, and deservedly so, are you really saving a lot of ammunition to hit Lois Lane with?
Here's the thing. Although Superman Returns had faults, such as going back to the land deal well, alright? Faults such as
Brandon
I'm smoking again. As what?
Brandon Routh.
Brandon.
Cal Penn.
No, I did not think Brandon Routh was that bad. He had a fine build. He wasn't, the tremendous guy.
Right.
He wasn't like the Ed McGuinness fucking Superman.
He was very much in the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Which is fine, I think the real problem with Superman Returns, he was trying too hard to pay homage to Reeves. He didn't make Clark or Superman his.
Right.
So that's a huge problem. He didn't do poorly at that. Shrug.
Right.
But no, no, she was not a Lois Lane. I don't care. She was not plucky. She was not, filled with a fire in her heart. She wasn't a go-getter. She did nothing in that movie that made me say this was a strong, independent woman.
I really don't remember much. I will say that I would rather look at her than Margot Kidder at any age.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's a given. But
so, I mean, I thought that was nice. Yeah.
And, Spacey did just fine as Luthor.
Well, Spacey was
They didn't
perfect
give him
for
shit. They gave him a land deal again, which pissed me off. But, we went through this. Hello, my mother lives in Hackensack. Not anymore, again, because, the East Coast is gone, again. I was gone for 5 years and didn't say goodbye. That irritated me because that is not something that Kal-El would have done. He would have found out about it and he would have went to Lois and he said, look, I got this thing I got to do. And I know it's going to be painful for us, but I have to go. And then he would have went. But he wouldn't have just took the fuck off and not say anything.
Yeah, again, not my number one problem with that film.
What is the number one problem with Superman Returns?
It was terrible.
That's too broad, jackass.
No, it isn't. I mean, it defines everything I want to say. Didn't like it. Wasn't well written. Wasn't particularly well directed by Bryan Singer. And I think part of it, when we talk about Brandon Routh's performance, is Bryan Singer was so slavishly attached to the previous films.
Right.
That I don't know how much leeway Brandon had with his performance.
Okay. I can see that.
Because I don't, he might have been getting notes like, Not Reeves enough.
You might not. It's true. It's absolutely true. But you know, speaking of Superman movies, I recently came into possession of the Donner cut.
Oh, of 2?
Yes. And let me tell you, it is a fundamentally different flick.
Really?
And I like it a lot more.
Intriguing.
Yes. There are many things they cut out. Although there's something they put back in that irritated the fuck out of me. You know, the super forget-me-not kiss that makes her forget that he's Clark and Kal and Superman all in one. That's gone. However, he does do the I'm going to fly really, really fast around the world and turn back time thing again.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he did that in the comics if you go back to the 50s.
Yeah, but you can't, that may be fine. He could have done it like every other 8-pager in action. Who cares? It's the fucking Silver Age, so fuck it. That was going to happen.
Right.
But in 2 movies in a row, in the late 70s and 80s, that just screams, I ran out of ideas. And frankly, so does the I'll just telepathically kiss you and forget everything routine. That screams, I don't know what else to do here.
Fair enough.
But it is, at a base level, a much better flick.
Intriguing. So it's not
wow.
It's not like watching the extended cut of Highlander where you're like, no, you should have left that out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even when things made more sense, they weren't better.
No, you're absolutely correct here. Not even close. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump?
Not too much.
We are jumping.
All right.
And we're going straight.
It's our 4,000th pile episode in a row.
It's all non-DC this time.
Madness.
You non-DC lovers are going to have a fun time with that. You non-DC haters are going to turn us off and wish we were dead.
Bye, Kurt.
But there's only so much time we have. And there's only so many comics to read. So here we go. All right. Greg Pak's Dead Man's Run. Number 1. If we remember, we got a preview copy of this to
I never
review.
saw it, though.
I swore I gave it to you, but obviously I'm wrong. Not the first time. Hell is a prison. In a very real and corporeal sense. People are sent down there, and there is gold kept down there at a like Fort Knox fucking level. Mm-hmm. Now, the only way to find it is to go through the warden and bring in a cartographer to go map the joint out so they can get back out again.
Well, I think you're, I don't want to say oversimplifying because but a warden of a maximum security prison dies.
Right.
And ends up in...
Well, I was giving the broader concept, not really the storyline.
Well, I don't know that the concept is you need if you're in hell, you need a cartographer. I think that's one person's plan. I'm pretty sure everyone is not down there going, if I just had a cartographer, I could deal with this cactus up my ass. I don't know that you were going for the broader overall.
Fine, I was mixing. So. All right.
That's how you get hangovers.
Ooh. Yeah, see, that's why I don't do it anymore. I do like it. I'm not sure how long it'll last. I don't know. I haven't read anything that's told me that it's an unlimited. I'm mildly intrigued by the warden, but I'm irritated by the cartographer's sister.
It's very broad strokes right now. Like you've got the warden dies, so he somehow manages to have one of his guards, who's a cartographer, because so often, prison guard and cartographer, hand in hand. I can't even say it. Killed with his sister in the car, so they both end up in hell, which is not even my sad atheist understanding of how hell works, but, apparently I'm wrong. So the warden is hoping the cartographer will help him map a way out of hell.
Right.
But the cartographer, and it's sad that we have no names here.
I don't remember the cartographer's name.
Just wants to find his sister and wants nothing to do with the warden who had him killed, shockingly enough.
Right.
Flaw in plan A. I had you killed so you'd help me. You're a dumbass.
His name's Sam.
There you go.
And his sister is Junie. And I remember that specifically without looking because I hate E's on the end of things where they don't really belong. June is a perfectly good name all by itself. You're not shortening it by putting E on there. I mean, you become Billy.
Dumbass.
What?
Spell June.
I-E.
Well, I'm just saying.
So that you can pronounce the E. I meant the phoneme E. The sound
No,
E.
it's a real E.
Asshole. What are you doing?
I'm asking questions.
For anyone to believe that those questions are valid, they have to make the assumption that you are a complete fucking puddinhead.
That's what you tell everyone every week.
I do not even.
On the podcast?
I have never said that you're a puddinhead.
No, dumbass is generally your preferred term.
Yeah, because you do things like this.
Confused.
What's wrong with you?
No, I enjoyed it. I think Greg Pak is a very talented writer, but it is very broad at this point.
Right, we got nothing going deeper just yet.
No, it kind of reminded me, although there are a lot of things that are in no way similar to Straczynski's second series after Rising Stars, the 12-issue mini. That
one.
Midnight Nation.
Oh, yeah, which I never really got to read very far. All right. If you say so, I believe you, because I don't know. So, I'm going to keep going for a while, let it develop.
No.
It's nice to have a, and I hate to sound like a moron doing this, but...
An indie?
No, a non-DC, non-Marvel.
Yeah,
non-image. An indie. You know, because there's thousands of indies out there, and many people promote them, and I try them, and I go, blech. You know? So it's nice to see a, upper mid-tier name who's done amazing stuff on big characters.
Nope. Hulk, Hercules.
Branch out and do his own cool stuff. So I'm with him on that.
Yeah, but the thing of it is right now it's a clever concept. I'm saying it's got maybe, a 4-issue arc before it starts moving along nicely for you to continue with it.
Well, I mean,
with the current
given my
economic
current
climb,
6, my 6 standard will give that 2 issues to prove itself after the initial jump.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, your 6 standard has already gone the way of the Dodo this year and last year.
No, they're all ordered and purchased. It's 6. What?
Men of War.
Oh, well, that's not the same. No, because I was getting those issues individually. And now that the DCBS thing is in place, you got to do 3 months.
I don't fully understand the DCBS.
You got to buy it 3 months ahead.
So, all right.
So, no matter what I do, whether I like something, I mean, I can cancel them, but I've paid for them 3 months in advance. So.
With that understanding, then I see your point with the 6. But yeah, in general, you went with a 6 no matter what, and you've certainly slacked on that in the last 2 years because of.
Well, I wanted to make it 12 because I really wanted to get some meat out of a book, but dough is dough, and it's got to be 6.
Well, some of the ones you canceled didn't make 6, let alone 12.
Which is just fun. Some of them didn't deserve fucking 6. OMAC, Men of War, Blackhawks, Static Shock, Mr. Terrific.
Are those all canceled now?
Yep.
Because I asked you last week, but you couldn't remember all of them.
Well, I've been reading since then.
Ah.
And then one more I yet don't remember.
Mr. Terrific went down already, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that the only books led by minorities are dead. It's fucking terrifying.
Well, you don't put a hero in a unitard and expect a lot of success.
Huh? They're all in unitards, man.
His is a lot more dramatic.
Terrific?
If I maybe.
No, they redesigned that costume.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
not...
thinking the old school one because
yeah.
pay no attention to Mr.
No,
Terrific.
He's got one of those dumb jackets now.
Oh dear.
And his terrific balls. Wait a minute. I think I know why they canceled it. He chucks technological balls at people and they do things. And I'm like, this is not, I'm sorry. I'm sure that the guy is a fine human being in between the pages.
He's terrific.
But stop. But really, chucking flying balls at people with T's on them, you gotta give me something better than that.
Here
man.
comes the villain, Timmy. I'm going to throw my balls. Watch out, they may explode.
Unfucking acceptable. And I read Static Shock. I did. I got it.
After the fact to check it out.
After the fact to check it out, I'm not going to lie. And wow. Whoa, that was pretty poor. I'm sorry, man. Anybody could have been in that, and if he was spouting that dialogue, I would have been like, this is shit. Yes, I know it's easy to talk poorly of the dead, but fuck it. I mean, we're the meme geeks, for fuck's sake.
It's true.
So, we like Dead Man's Run for now. We'll keep going and see where it ends up for a while. And, we'll be nice to Greg, because he's been nice to us. Avengers, 1959.
Numbers 4 and 5.
4 and 5. Chaykin Goodness up the wazoo.
I don't even want to talk about this book. I just want to say this. Go out and buy it, all right? This is Howard Chaykin doing what you want him to do. My only real problem is I was looking at it, and I'm like, Dominic Fortune, Nick Fury, The Shadow.
The Shadow.
American Flag.
Oh, I see.
Black Hawk. All kind of look the same.
You're absolutely right. Right along with Nick Fury.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if you look at a picture of Howard Chaykin at 25, he probably looks like a smaller version of all of these people. What?
But it's slam bang action. It's a modicum of intrigue, and
there's some solid.
It's
character
Nazi
development.
fighting.
Dude, have you ever rooted for Kraven before?
Never ever, but I have now.
And he's getting women. He's fucking with Sabretooth. Kraven is the man. Who the hell saw that coming?
When the hell did Sergei get cool? Only Chaykin could make Kraven off cool.
But I was a little surprised that from the Avengers backstory, which to be not really a backstory, it was interwebbed in the issues.
Yeah, that little interlude they did.
They lost 2 team members by the time of the miniseries, which I found a little bit odd. I kept waiting for them to show back up. Sooner or later, Bloodstone is going to pop out. Nope, not going to do
that's
it.
Okay, Ulysses can go and just do something else.
Hunt your monsters.
But it's enjoyable as shit.
No, it's a great book. It uses the Chaykin sex and violence style within the Marvel Universe really well. There's a great deal of comic history to be found in here if you pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
Classic villains, classic heroes.
Gerda Gash. No, that's Adventures of the Bollock Brigade or whatever the fuck it was.
Yes, slightly different.
The only quibble I had with it is how long it took to end once the actual adventure was done. They're just like, okay, let's talk. We're going to run off and do this. And they're like, we're going to run off and do that. Would you care to join us? Oh, we'll have fucking Mai Tais on the veranda. Why, that seems like a smashing idea. Of course I will.
That's a lot of that's Howard, though. Like, even the whole point of a lot of what he does is even while this is happening, none of it matters in the sense that the villains are still going to be villainous out there. There's no, everyone pauses and laughs, cutscene, end episode moment. The politics are ongoing. Everyone is still screwed.
Right.
So, the team breaks up and they wander off to their weird little hedonistic lifestyle choices.
But, they probably could have done that in, 3 pages and had a little more fight, maybe, or a little more anything else, but yapping about where they're going to go and bang next.
Well, you've never in your life read a Howard Chaykin book and be like, wow, the action was just amazing.
Yeah, it's never that part. The actual fights have never really been his bag.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He draws well everything, so it looks fine. But it's usually either off panel or very quick and violent looking.
Right, but never very involved.
No, there's never long drawn out fight scenes.
Right. Which brings us to another book that never has long drawn out fight scenes, but is incredibly interesting and intriguing. UnWritten, and this is the irritating part of this podcast. 32 and a half,
and
33.
Yep. So let's look at 32.5.
They want to get, what I read is that they want to get this arc over with so that they can move on and, move into a new year with a new story.
Well,
So they're shipping twice a month.
32.5 is totally unnecessary.
Yeah, I saw no point to that particular one either.
I thought it was a solid issue. Basically, 32.5 is what seems to be the story of Gilgamesh
Right.
and Bellman, quite possibly,
Yeah.
hunting Leviathan and finding out that the people, monsters are not always monsters, and the people that tell you they're monsters are not always people.
Right.
So it was,
there's also a minor indication, I think, and I could be looking way too far into it, but I think Pullman is actually one of the party.
yes, that's
Yes.
right, yeah.
Okay. So there is a tenuous connection there.
Yeah, it's a solid filler issue. So if they're going to do this half thing as being things to the side of the story each time,
Well, I hope, trying to be in a positive light because I like this book. I don't think it's filler so much as fill out.
No. I'm using filler incorrectly. But what I mean is, like, you could buy, if this is what's going to be happening, you could buy 32, 33, 34.
And not worry about the point
Right.
fives.
If they're side issues.
Yeah, because I don't think in reflecting against 33, it didn't really add anything at all, except the idea that Pullman's been around a lot longer than we fucking
Right.
figured.
And, some of these things may play into things. It was an excellent issue. It was like Sandman. It was a one-shot.
Yeah.
Floating in the middle of giant storylines.
And I don't have a problem with
At
that.
all.
It does cleanse the palate every once in a while and gets you primed and excited for the next advancement of story.
We've urged for quite a few authors to do
Yes,
this more often.
absolutely
So
right.
The last thing I'm going to do is be like, how dare you? But I am intrigued, like, if they're going to do these 0.5s to all be that way.
Well, it only goes to 35, so 33 finally goes back to the actual story.
Yeah, so 32 and 33 are more within the story spectrum. We start with 32 with Tommy Taylor lost in the wilderness.
Freezing to death and having a vision of himself telling him what to do. Right?
And they save him by way of Tinkerbell.
We believe in him, we believe in him, we believe in him. Clap, clap, clap.
Which is a really clever concept, and then Pullman immediately perverts it into a horrible concept.
Yeah. Turns it absolutely 180 degrees and upside down.
By having an infinite number of writers/monkey writers putting
Monkey writers.
horrible things about Tommy Taylor out there to make people start believing that. Thereby waning his power and getting his ass kicked.
It is really clever. I was having a hard time with the who was it? This James Gibbs guy. They couldn't just have him a ghost. He has to be like this huge, monstrous, I'm a wonder.
It was I had no problem with that whatsoever.
It was just kind of weird is all.
Did it remind you of that Kid Eternity book from Vertigo back in the day where he used to say the name of dead people and they come help him?
I don't know what you're talking about. Kid Eternity? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a fucking Morrison book.
It's,
Who was it?
I don't believe so. But if you go back to the first JSA run when they're killing off all the weird DC special heroes like the Scarab, Kid Eternity is the one that dies in the sewer.
I don't remember that. They were killing off the Scarab?
Yeah, go back to the...
what was this, Crisis?
No, this was JSA, I want to say Jeff Johns, but...
Oh, so it was far more recent
Or
than
Robinson, that period.
No, I didn't read those, so I don't know what you're saying.
I suspect that you
We're-
did, but...
I bet I didn't. JSA has never been a friend of mine. And you know that from the amount of JSAs I've brought over the house.
That is true. All right.
Journey into Mystery, 632 and 633. Slight change in the art style. I kind of dig it, and I'm kind of,
Well, I mean, it goes to a different artist in the very next book, too, so.
Yeah.
Well, this is, again, although it plays into the storyline, this is almost a jumping on point issue.
Yeah, it is. That is a good point. Who else but Gilliam March, right, would have Volstagg being fucking Santa Claus?
That's awesome.
And I laughed out loud when Loki dropped off the death puppy.
Oh, the Hellhound puppies?
Yes.
Love that.
They
raise
were all,
my leg on the rainbow.
They were all fine except this one. And this one just wants to talk about killing and death and eating things. And he drops it off with poor Leia. And she's got to take care of this fucking monster.
Which she refuses, to the point at which she even scares the puppy.
And it happened anyway. I loved it. That was great stuff.
No, the Hellhounds were a lot of fun, and I would like to see where they go with it. Little Thori, the Hellhound. I liked where the dog was trying to give itself its own name.
Yeah. Oh, that was good stuff. And there's a review of things gone past in several issues. And he tries to keep dropping it off with other people, and they keep refusing it over and over and over again. It's fun. They even go to Warlock, for fuck's sake. Douglock, excuse me.
Yes, big difference.
He tries to bite off Tyr's hand. He's like, fuck this, not again.
No, I totally enjoyed the Hellhounds.
And he wants to get rid of it. He's trying to get rid of it. And finally, he decides, out of the pseudo-goodness of his heart, that the dog is in fact going to stay, and he will try to teach it not to eat everything it comes across.
Well, this is why he's Loki now and not Loki then.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Then we move into the more consistent with storyline Shattered Heroes, Loki. Trying to deal with the damage that he's caused literally everywhere. Right.
And it's a very text-filled book. And it took me a significantly longer amount of time than I figured this would. I'm like, Journey in the Mystery, I love it. It always reads fast. I can't get enough of it. Oh, put the brakes on. The Council of Fear. All the things, all this gods and demigods that just live on, create, or are sustained by fear. No, there's nothing wrong with them. I didn't realize there were so many of them.
Scarecrow was actually a failed attempt at a horror-based villain/hero from the 70s when they used to...
Strawman.
Well, he was the Scarecrow originally. And then
but he's the Strawman now because
DC...
there's a copyright thing. Kalaku, I don't know who that was. Nox, I don't know who that was.
Nox, Bringer of Night.
Actually, the Lurking Unknown, I think I've read about him only in official handbook of the Marvel Universe.
Lurking Unknown, that's old school, like Kirby Monster period, if I recall.
No, I believe that. That's why I've only read him in the handbook. No, Despair I knew. The Dweller in Darkness I knew.
Yeah, that's their Cthulhu aspect.
Right. And Nightmare is just, he's a jackass. He's never, ever interesting. Ever.
He didn't even show.
That's another reason he's not interesting.
Well, he is interesting.
He can't even be buggered to show up.
It's forecasting, foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, they're just trying to have a damn chocolate milkshake. And some jock douchebag walks up and starts giving him static.
Yeah. How dare the townspeople give the god static after they blew up the town and dropped Asgard on top of it? How dare they?
Well, yeah, they're rebuilding it for free, for fuck's sake.
I love that you're jock douchebag. This guy probably benches 110 pounds. He attacks two gods who beat the living piss out of him. They would be the gods.
Look at this guy. His arms are bigger around than Loki's head, okay?
Do you have a jock fetish?
Oh, no, I don't. Don't ever say that phrase again.
Title at
you gigantic asswipe. So, they get run off.
I like how Leah beats him up, and Loki still was required to get in more trouble as a result of other people's actions.
Well, sure. He's got to pay for several millennia of being the instigator here.
That dude cannot win.
And yet he keeps trying, and he keeps moving forward, and things he does, that isn't it?
The things
he does still benefit Asgard as a whole.
So far, but
except for maybe the dog. We're not sure about him yet.
He's definitely getting frustrated with the fact that he's getting punched and doing all this crap.
It's like, I tried to do things right, and you're still fucking with me, okay? Everybody got away. Well, not everybody. But people got away, and we're doing fine, and you still want to give me shit. Come on. But then, fucking Hellstrom shows up, dude. Why are they bringing him around, man?
I was a little surprised. I did not anticipate Hellstrom.
Several pages of trying to break a possession.
Yep, dead kids.
Out of nowhere. I think this is obviously where the next arc is going to end up being focused, but where it's going to fit in the grander scheme is kind of curious to me. I'm very interested, except for Hellstrom. It could be anybody else. Please have it be somebody else. He, got called cross dimension or something. Let him get replaced.
If you're gonna, you gotta
fucking bring me Brother Voodoo for fuck's sake.
Dude, Brother Voodoo is dead.
Bring me Brother Voodoo. Bring me zombie Brother Voodoo for fuck's sake.
Who is the Sorcerer Supreme now?
You know what? I don't think they've named one since.
Awkward.
We're going to have to look that up. Kids, if you know who the current Sorcerer Supreme of Earth's dimension is, and it's not Stephen Strange, and it's not Brother Voodoo, and it's not Damon Hellstrom.
Unless it's the ghost of Brother Voodoo's brother somehow took the mantle.
Oh, please no. I remember that storyline, and I'd like to forget it, thanks.
An astral form of an astral form.
No. Go away with that one.
It's Mini-Me.
You'll get an extra floppy in your award box if somebody tells us who it is. Okay? How about that?
Yeah, stop trying to shove floppies into their boxes.
You're disgusting.
Yeah, I know.
So, Hellstrom is not pontificating. What's that word? Prestidigitating. He's checking the future with chicken bones. Finger bones. They're finger bones. They're just bones, for fuck's sake. Look at them.
Prestidigitating.
Working magic, right? This is magic, right?
Prognosticating.
That's the one.
Yes, I thought it might be.
I knew you knew.
Prestidigitation!
Look, you're the one with the fucking English degree over here, okay? I had to get by with a certificate for a skill I could actually use in public.
Which is why you now make more than I do.
Yeah. You brought that part up. I was going to leave it at skill alone, okay? Point being, he's telling the future with bones that make a little stack and point straight to Broxton. Ba-dum! So Damon Hellstrom and his little possessed kids are coming to Asgard.
You make it sound like an ice-capade.
You know what? With Gilliam March writing, it would be an awesome ice-capade. Oh, you think so too. Don't even try. And that's why I love this book. Gilliam March can do it.
No, it's a fun book.
I might have to look at. I'm going to have to look up other Gilliam March books. He did Catwoman for a while, I think.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%.
Which period?
No. Gilliam March. Gilliam March is doing the art on Catwoman. I'm thinking Kieran Gillen. God damn.
Okay.
What is wrong with me today? Too much beer. Kieran Gillen. He did Xmen for a while.
Oh, okay.
But I may have to find a cheap trade of that. As much as, Xmen is no longer my bag, and hasn't been for some time, I keep finding writers that I like having runs on them.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up with a fucking shelf of X-Men I get angry at looking at, but can't stop reading.
Did you read the Whedon X-Men?
Yes, I read a couple of runs of Astonishing. I largely liked it, but I knew it wasn't going to last, so I left it alone at 2 trades. And the Morrison X-Men run is just plain weird. It's not thoroughly horrible, but he's definitely hitting some LSD while he's writing that shit.
Yeah, I gave you a couple of those issues. That confused the piss out of me.
Yeah. And I was, I don't know, unfortunate enough to get several of them when they came out on the shelves. Way back 2001. And Brubaker did some X-Men. Yeah.
Everybody's
feature
done
that. God damn it. Brubaker did. The only person who hasn't done any X-Men is fucking Bendis.
Azarello.
Azarello did some X-Men?
No,
or hasn't done. Well, Azarello's a bit pickier. So, Vaughn, Brian K. Vaughan, I'm a big fan of. He did some X-Men. It's amazing, and they're going to make me spend money I don't want to spend. But, you know, I like these writers, and I want to follow them, and this is what we get. And speaking of following writers, hello, new book, loving the new book. What are your thoughts on Defenders?
Defenders is, I think this is a great book. Like, this is an absolute jump on this now. It's a lot of fun. However, the Defenders is the second worst Marvel team ever. The champions will always be
the champions of Los Angeles, more specifically.
The worst team ever created.
Because we can't count the GLA because they were literally a parody.
Well, we're talking Marvel books.
Yeah. Great Lakes Avengers.
Oh, well.
That was literally a satire, so that doesn't count in this context.
I have never read anything with the Great Lakes Avengers. I'm totally unfamiliar with them other than your references to...
And yet you know all of the characters.
Flatman, Big Bertha.
Aha!
The Mr. Immortal or The Immortal.
Oh.
So
there is so much fun to be had in this book.
Well, here's my big problem with the book, though. I really enjoyed the book, and I think it's a great read.
Yeah?
No one is likable again. Maybe Danny Rand. Like, apparently Stephen Strange is the creepiest person in the Marvel Universe. When did that happen?
He's not the he's the Mr. Magic of Mr. Miracles. Of course he's the creepiest one around.
Dude, he whispers
can astrally
in She-Hulk's
project...
ear and freaks her out so she won't talk to him ever again?
Yeah, I thought that was amusing to me. I like that.
Namor is the biggest dick in the Marvel Universe who's not a villain.
Right. Which I'm fine with. Yeah, so...
Red She-Hulk is... I'm just saying, like...
I'm still not happy with the fact that Betty Banner is a She-Hulk.
Well, you know
that irritates me.
There's a lot of Red Hulks and Green Hulks running around, so be it. It's Hulk family now. Instead of Batman family, it's Hulk family.
Yeah.
Compared
I eventually got past the idea of, Thunderbolt being a Hulk because he suddenly likes eggs, and that made me laugh. But...
Is it Thunderbolt or is it Talbot? Because in the Avengers books, they were talking Talbot. I am not familiar.
Talbot.
Glenn Talbot.
It might have changed then. Because it was definitely Ross for a while. You know this stuff. It changes all over the place. And if you don't read it, you're probably not going to know what really happened. That is one disgusting looking steak.
But, there's this whole... Danny Rand is, of course, fun. And the Silver Surfer is noble and sweet in a kind of dumbass way. But it's a bizarre team dynamic. So it's kind of hard to imagine them being around for 100 issues like this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we've gotten, 40 some odd of Iron Man out of Fraction. So if he feels any kind of commitment to this book, it ought to be a good long run,
too.
Oh,
I think Fraction's an amazing writer, and I totally enjoyed the book. I'm just saying the team dynamic I'm not fully gelled with at this point.
Oh, that part of it. Yeah, I'm sure that is going to mutate here and there. It may or may not take as long as we might like or dislike. All right, suddenly Kate Bosworth is doing the worst acting of her career, including Lois Lane. This is a weird flick, kids. You probably enjoy it, but it's with no sound right now. It's quite weird.
Western circuses.
So they have to go to Wundagore Mountain of all places.
Dude, that's awesome. And Prester John?
What were they thinking bringing Prester John back?
I was so excited. I want to know why we don't get more Prester John appearances.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're thinking. Why not more Prester John?
And Talking Tiger, it's like, come on, D.
The Talking Tiger is fine because he's been there forever. We know to expect talking animal guys on Wundagore Mountain. I mean, the high evolutionary, this is just what he does.
Doesn't it sound like a Disney ride, Wundagore Mountain?
It does. It so totally does. And you know what? Now that they own Marvel, it might be.
There you go.
That amuses me. We should bring that to them.
I can't wait for my Prester John action figure.
You know what? If they make you a Prester John action figure, I will buy you a Prester John action figure.
That might
You know
take
what?
a while to
I
find.
might go get some fucking Sculpey and make you. I might take a Silver Surfer like everybody did in the 90s because he was like the blank slate. Get some sculpting putty and make you a fucking Prester John.
Basically, if they make a Dum Dum Dugan, you just got to give him a different hat.
There you go. I'm pretty sure they got one of those in the Captain America movie run.
I didn't see one.
I didn't catch them all, but suddenly Kate Bosworth has got cleavage.
Well, you know.
That's not a bad thing.
It's movie magic.
You know what? I like magic. I have no segue about magic and Rucka's Punisher.
No, that's as far from magic
That's
as you can possibly
never going
get.
to work. It's a very different Punisher take. And we've got 4 because we skipped a couple. I'm going to do a bunch of them. 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's a good long... It's made at 6 right now for me. And I've never been disappointed by anything Ruck has ever done. So until he starts disappointing me, I think I will keep Punisher.
It's a really interesting take on the Punisher in that the Punisher is almost a force as opposed to a character in the book.
Right.
Like, he rarely speaks. You barely see him in some issues. And he just goes around destroying things. Everybody else is talking and making plans and whatnot. And he just shows up and shoots them.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
So it's,
Because I've seen my share of Punisher stands there for an entire splash page blowing off rounds on an M60. How many thousands of times have we seen that? This is the kind of take you gotta have if you're gonna make another Punisher. I mean, this is volume fucking 7 of the Punisher here. And that's not even War Zone and War Journal. That's just the Punisher, volume 7. It's insane. But I am digging it.
no, he's basically taken the Punisher down to its key elements, which is just this guy who hates crime. There's not as much psychology. It's not as cynically dark in certain respects as some of the stuff Ennis has done.
Right.
It has its own, it's almost classic Mac Pendleton Destroyer, except there's no dialogue. Like, he's not getting laid, he's not talking to people, he's just shooting them. And he gets hurt a lot. Like, the Red Vulture, as much as I hate that dude, fuck that guy up. He's still not recovered by issue 7.
Well, he's only wearing bulletproof armor. I mean, yeah, actually, he's only wearing a little bit of Kevlar. It's not like he's armored up like the fucking Master Chief here.
He is not super powered. He just shoots people.
Which is, a key to him being almost relatable. I mean, you gotta throw right out the window all his psychoses. But, okay, we're gonna have something weird happen on the screen in a
There's some
minute.
distinct other things going on. Like, you've got the cops that are kind of living the 7 partnership, one of whom's informing to Punisher. You've got the reporter who's screwed up her own hair so she doesn't have to be on TV hunting the
Yeah.
case. And by 7, you've got the accumulation of the opening storyline, which is he now has a partner/friend in the female sergeant whose husband was murdered by the mob.
I'm not... It kind of sounded like you didn't like that idea at all.
Well, Friends of the Punisher is actually not a new concept.
No, and that's where I was going. I
yeah,
mean,
'cause
microchip.
Microchip was a
kid.
resource. People that go out and kill people with him
Oh,
has
I
been
see.
tried. Ennis had one.
Yeah, that
You know,
didn't last.
Of course, there's Eurohit, a staple of
Oh
reference.
my God! Again with the Euro hit. I'm gonna pull that out and make you reread it for the
That,
cast.
you know what? I will totally pick those up again. The British Punisher, the black dude, with the
You don't
studded
have to.
jacket.
I just pull them out of my boxes.
Do you actually have all of it?
Shit, yeah, I got all of it. Sorry, kids. I had severe coughing from a lung thing, and I can't get as high as I used to anymore.
You want to rephrase that, Sparky?
My speech. I was going to get a really high-pitched, indignant voice.
Due to coughing, I can't get as high as I used to get.
Wasn't that really what stops it? You know? You can't toke as deeply as you used to. That kind of horse shit, you know.
Oh, sweet zombie Jesus.
But we're liking it, right?
No, it's a definitely, I can't say it's a fun book,
Yeah.
but it is definitely well worth reading. It's a
absolutely-
good, solid
yes,
take on the
yes.
Punisher. And it's a Punisher that exists within the Marvel Universe without being interfered with the Marvel Universe.
That is a very good point.
He's not teaming up with Wolverine and Ghost Rider. He's not fighting Cap every issue. Like, a super villain has shown up in a way that was horrifying for him. But, you know, it's really, the Punisher is in the Marvel Universe. Because, I mean, the best take I've read of the Punisher, I mean, what are the highlights? You've got the original Mike Zack miniseries.
Right.
You've got the early Klaus Janson issues.
Which I love and adore, and I will never forgive Rick fucking Salivo for fucking up my first copy of Klaus Janson Punisher #1. Fucking douchebag took a ballpoint pen and colored in the Punisher skull eyes with it. Right on the cover. And I didn't notice it for years. And when I did, I wanted to hunt his ass down, roll the thing up, and jam it up his ass.
Do you still have that, or is that lost?
No,
in the,
that was one of the many things that have been just waylaid in one degree or another and just gone bye-bye.
No,
Yeah.
well, I'm totally lost. So you've got that period, and you've got the Ennis period.
Right.
You know, Punisher's had a lot more lows for me than highs. So
No, that's no lie. I mean, that's an absolute fact. The quality just can't last on some of these.
And we've only gone the first graphic in the Fraction run, so we have to. Jury's still out on the overall on that.
There was a
Punisher
fraction
War
run.
Journal
Oh, yeah.
around
Yeah,
Civil
yeah,
War.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I actually, that one didn't really hit me because
Well, you
otherwise
liked
I'd
it.
remember it better.
You would like to. You told me you enjoyed it at the time. I was a little iffy, and you were more positive. But we'll have
When
to
was that?
revisit that. A couple months ago.
A couple months ago. I'll have to go back through it. This happens when you read the volume of books we do. You're not going to catch everything. What? When was that look?
I remember.
Reading, my dear man, is in fact what you are. It's not just fundamental. It's
I
not just,
am book.
It's not
Yeah,
just
no.
what you do. It's what you are. Okay? This retention you have that lasts for generations is not something fucking normal.
Oh dear. I did not know that.
Oh, yes, you did.
Crap.
You so totally knew
So
that.
no, Rock the Punisher is an excellent read and much more in the scope of the Marvel Universe than the Max series of late.
Right.
And he's not Frankencastle, so
So that's a huge bonus right off the bat. I mean, you can't get... Come on. I'm sorry, Mr. Remender, but Frankencastle was not my cup of tea.
I've never read it, and I can't wait to find it and pick it up and read it because I'm sure that it is awful. I did read Punisher: The List, where he got cut up into little pieces.
Yes.
You brought that over, and that was its own special kind of thing. I believe Frankencastle will be around with the Trigger Twins and my
You know
memory
what?
for years.
If they had to have Frankencastle, they may as well throw in the fucking Trigger Twins, too.
What a crossover that would be. DC and Marvel presents
The Punisher, Frankie Castle, and the
versus the Trigger
Oh
Twins.
God, this is terrible.
Maybe it could be in 3D.
Maybe what?
It could be in 3D.
All right, you need to not say things like that anymore. So, I'm done with that for now.
Okay.
Captain America 5, 6, and 7. Finally trying to finish up the Alan Davis.
Well, Alan Davis only takes up in 6 and 7. 5 is the...
I'm fine with that.
5 is the end of the original storyline where Cap is trapped in the dreams of Jimmy Jupiter. Real name, people. I didn't make that up.
Yeah.
And he finally escapes through the power of Jimmy Jupiter's hero worship of Captain America.
Right. I don't know, man. It seems relatively solid, but it's not like, oh my God, this is amazing.
You know, I'm intrigued with where they're going to go because they've reestablished, even in the next issues, you've got Queen Bee taking over as a leader in Hydra. You've got her husband, whose name I never remember because it's odd, in prison, and there's a plan there. Baron Nemo showing up. So there's some excitement in all this. But
Zemo.
What'd I say?
Nemo.
Oh, sorry. I was just talking Jules Verne yesterday to somebody, so apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Whoever talks Jules Verne?
Me and my stepfather were discussing Jules Verne.
Well, of course, Howie would. Okay. I got you.
Heck, man, The Rock has a movie out vaguely based on Jules Verne.
The Rock does?
Yeah. Return to, number, not word, The Mysterious Island. The Mysterious Island is a sequel to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't believe that they flew bees in it, though. I think that was, special for The Rock.
Anyway, Captain America.
So my only thing is, you've got this amazing team in Brubaker and McNiven, and it's this weird dream sequence storyline that just boggles my mind.
This alternate reality. Did he remake reality? Or no, he's floating in the dream inside the guy's head. Mm-hmm. It's so...
But it affects, because the very next storyline, you've still got these people floating around, and you've got the whole concept of, this is not the America I grew up with or wanted. Why is this the America you're okay with? Which is such a awesome Captain America.
No, that really is. When that counterpoint came up, I was like, damn, he got him.
So, here he is. He's on top of the Avengers. He's a flavor of the month. He had a successful film. He's dating Sharon Carter, who almost no one can draw and make look bad. So life is pretty good for the Cap. And then suddenly, he starts to think poorly and turn into 97-pound Cap.
Yeah, that is a residual self-image thing, I guess. Left over from the influence of the guy's mind.
Or is it?
It's suddenly... it is kind of weird, that his brain can turn off the super soldier serum. But where does his muscle mass go as a result?
Who knows? I mean, it is a comic book, so you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, no, you have to let it have liberties, but you have to give me a teeny bit more than that.
Now, answer me this, because I know you're a huge Excalibur Alan Davis fan.
Yeah.
Did you like Alan Davis as a artist for Cap?
He gets the story across.
It didn't, it didn't totally work for me. He certainly, nothing was poorly drawn or anything, but I just always associate Alan Davis with a certain more happy-go-lucky style.
Yeah, I was about to say something very, very similar. A lighter tone with less monumental consequences to the story.
Even the darkest Excalibur story suddenly has Alan Davis, Nightcrawler pops in the air, drops teddy bears on some people, and leaves.
Yeah. More whimsy to his normal stuff.
There's a silly factor that I associate with his art that doesn't quite play into.
The floor is fine. I didn't spill the beer.
Not for me.
No, because you're fine being a pig, apparently.
As are you.
Yeah, actually. We're male. I mean, we're nerds, but we're fucking male. Hello.
So this brings us to the next Captain America and Bucky, number
625.
Which gets around the whole, will Captain America Bucky continue or not now that Bucky is dead, by bringing in a different Captain America and Bucky.
They have now, was this starting a whole new arc, or was this a one-off?
Nope, it's the start of an arc.
Okay, to be
because
continued.
you've got William Nasdale, the Spirit of 76,
right,
and something Davis, a Bucky replacement,
right,
taking over for them
in the 50s.
But then we jump to now, where the robot that killed Nasdale is hunting Davis, and Captain America gets involved alongside
the new Bucky.
Well, the new Bucky's like 87 by that point.
Well, who's this
guy?
The original
then? Human Torch.
Really? Is that what happened? Tell me again this storyline.
Davis has taken over for Bucky. Nasdale, I think I'm saying the name correctly, has taken over for Cap. And they continue on, as is, historically accurate for the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
So, Nasdale dies by a robot that's now apparently hunting Davis. So now they team up, along with the
there it is,
grandson of Nasdale, which I'm betting is a robot. You heard it here first, kids. To hunt robots, and the original Human Torch shows up to help out.
Yeah, there he is. Way toward the end.
You've got Robo Bucky.
Yeah, with a Tommy gun. So, Bucky gone bad.
Robo Bucky gonna fuck you up. Date your girl. Date your car.
Would date the car?
Well, I mean, he's already done exceedingly well with women as regular Bucky. Now he can open into two fronts, as it were. He's like Hitler in Poland.
Just because he got to bang Natasha does not mean he does extraordinary well with women.
Bucky?
Plural.
Dude, Bucky was 15 and got more play than you do now.
Well, that's not ever going to be a problem. 15-year-olds now get more play than I do now.
Dude, Bucky's whole character is based on dating 25-year-old nurses and beating up 21-year-old men at 15, all right? He's ridiculous. And now he's a robot.
Everybody turns into a robot eventually. That's just
true.
Comics.
The Ameridroid.
See?
Superman's robots.
Yeah.
Nick
The Cyborg.
Fury's.
Nick Fury's LMDs,
yeah.
Which stand for?
Life size.
No size.
It's Life Decoy.
Model.
Life Model Decoy. Okay. I got most of it.
Let's take a minor break before we go into the incredibly large smattering of Avengers. All right, but now that we're done with that, let's go on to some Bendis lovin' with Avengers. You want to start with New Avengers or Avengers?
Whichever you'd like.
Well, I've already opened up the New Avengers. So,
all right.
Norman Osborn is still putting back together Hammer.
Dude, the best thing about this whole issue is Norman Osborn quizzing somebody as to why they wear an octopus on their head. I believe it's right on page 1 or 2.
No, you're thinking of the wrong issue.
Oh, maybe it's the next one. But best thing I've read. Just made me happy.
No, it did make me laugh. And I'm largely happy with it, but I want him to be over with Osborn. He needs to wrap shit up occasionally.
That's what he's doing. So he's bringing back the major. Osborn is a major player right now. Like we just talked about last week, the resurgence of Sinestro as a big time villain.
Right.
And here you've got Norman Osborn in Marvel. Now the Green Goblin was always a big Spider-Man villain.
Right. But now you're saying it's a different character on a different scale because he's not wearing the costume anymore.
Not only that, but he's a global player. He's fucked up beyond all recognition.
Right?
So, Spider-Man villains have always been kind of similar to Flash villains in which, they're great versus that guy, and not necessarily translating well into the world as a whole. You know, Superman, Captain Cold, no one's ever really clamored for.
No one's ever cared about that.
And no one is really dying to see... I'm trying to think of a classic spot. Electro take on Captain America. Like, these are not, you know, it's very much Spider-Man punches you and you fall down. That's our established role.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Occasionally you have somebody like Grodd or Venom who plays in a larger audience. Sadly in the case of Venom. Awesomely in the case of Grodd.
But he finally puts together this team. And he's done berating them for octopi on their heads. And we get in a little interlude where Doreen and Jessica have a little thing, and Jessica is losing her fucking mind because she's being a mother. And as much as I understand that a mother's going to be worrisome, she needs to give up the fucking life if she's going to be worrisome.
Well, to be fair...
she needs to take Luke and run off to the coast somewhere and not be fucking superheroes anymore.
Yeah, but Luke doesn't want to do that. So, you know, it's... and she tried going without him, and that didn't work out that well.
Well, they're going to have to figure out something between them, and they're going to have to figure it out between them soon.
Well, superheroes have had children before. I mean, unfortunately, the Avengers seem to
Yes,
be...
but we haven't been privy to Bendis-level rumination about the child being hurt before.
I don't know. I mean, the Fantastic Four kids get kidnapped like every 2 days. You know?
And nobody gives a fuck. They're like, we'll get them back. Who cares? And if we don't, fuck it. We got a cosmic treadmill or whatever. We'll get them back. You know, we'll take them into the Phantom Zone. We'll heal them up. It's all done. You know, neutral zone, Phantom Zone, it doesn't matter. There's a pocket dimension somewhere where it didn't happen where we can replace the kids and it'll be okay.
They'll be smarter, cleaner, better teeth. You know, we'll just
More
move
smart
on.
ass.
Exactly.
But not Jessica Drew and Luke Cage. No. They have to worry about it. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. That's what you get for having two Jessicas on the same team.
How dare they? No, I think they've done very well with that. And I think Deodato really, you know, for me, like, his art in this issue was very strong, these two issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, she really looked like a mother stressing out about the decision-making.
Completely.
So, Osborn has developed Dark Avengers Part 2. And he's made them a little more impressive. He's got a Hulk this time.
Except for the six-armed Spider-Man, who even got a berating from Peter Parker himself.
Yes, I did enjoy the Spider Island reference. That was a lot of fun. But I really think that, you know, Osborn... And the thing is, Osborn knows that he's nuts and is doing his best to work around it before he goes totally nuts, which is just great writing. Now, you've also got the establishment that Victoria Hand is fucking the team over, and I'm not convinced that's true.
I'm still not totally convinced either. I have hope for her because I think she could be a decent character.
I could care less about the character. I just think it's being made too painfully obviously that it's her.
Well, yeah.
So I assume it's somebody else. It's like a Scooby-Doo mystery at this point.
Diverting an entire team from a disaster zone. I mean, that... I don't know how you can pull the Shaggy Scooby thing on that.
But I do think... And the Squirrel Girl hitting on Daredevil was kind of funny.
That was amusing as fuck. I like that.
But did you have a problem with Daredevil being able to take on the level of villain? And they're just like, wow, he's still doing so well.
It did seem a little out of joint.
He was fighting their Miss Marvel before she took down
the
Quinjet and crashed it into the Earth.
Yeah, he was fighting, but he wasn't really making all that much progress.
Well, she even, there's literally a quote at one point where she's like, he's doing surprisingly well. And I'm like, what? No, he's not. No, just punch him. He'll fall the fuck down. All right? There's a reason that there's no one clamoring for Daredevil Hulk either, okay? Hulk crushed, blind man. Blind man fall down, go ow. Daredevil's superpower is I smell remarkably better than the average person. I hear remarkably better than the average person.
No, there's a superhero level that's a little too... remarkably doesn't cover it.
Phenomenally.
Although Deodato does make it a surprisingly scary Cage. That guy was like you know what? You're coming this way. I'm going that way. Have a good night.
Dude, the idea of Luke Cage as an Avenger has come so 360 from when originally, you're like, come on. And now leading the team, like Luke Cage is another guy on par with Osborn who has totally changed over the run of these books. Like, are you ever going to view Luke Cage as, hey, let me hang out with Iron Fist and punch some dudes in the ghetto somewhere?
I don't know what's going on with this guy, though. I mean, so he's got the super soldier serum in him now? Mm-hmm. Or did he go back to the goblin serum?
I'm not sure what that was, where he could just grab a...
Where he can just stop Luke's punch and give him a chuck.
And throw him into... space, almost. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised.
I don't know what this... I don't know what this whoop his ass battle cry is all about. Please don't let me see that every fucking issue.
Oh, dude, come on. Cap's got Avengers to assemble. Luke Cage has whoop his ass.
I don't know if that can last without getting irritating, though,
Of course
dude.
it's going to get irritating.
But, enjoyable as shit.
No, it's a great book, and with Bendis looking at the tail end of his Avengers run, it's going to be a hard act for somebody to follow.
Yeah, I'm very worried. When I read that, I was like, crud. You know, I've always enjoyed Avengers. I've enjoyed Avengers since Stern Bishima.
There's a large period, though, where you weren't buying it because of the talent level on it.
Well, because, to be frank, it was Doogie.
But, for your economic climate, if Avengers were to go south, that takes like 5 books off your table.
It does. It absolutely does.
It's not like you're just losing one at that. It's like, woohoo! Now I got to buy these new 4 Bendis books, but...
What was that? Oh, trying to figure out how I'm stacking these things incorrectly. All right, so then the regular Avengers, the non-adjectived Avengers, who now have Storm on their team, which... All right, are we going to co-opt every fucking X-Man to come over?
Ones. I don't think the Beak will be an Avenger anytime soon.
The
Speaking
Beak.
Morrison's
Nobody brings
X-Men.
up the Beak, dude.
Nobody brings up Trigger Twins or Prester John.
And that's why I keep you around.
It's what I do.
So, in unadjectived Avengers 20...
Rather a lot is going on.
This is actually where they do the thing with the octopi head.
Oh, is it? All right. I knew it was the first of one. I apologize. Still great.
They debut the new team. And, of course, a disaster happens in the middle of the press conference. Which, nobody could see coming. Hi, Brian. How are you? So, Novar has renamed himself the Protector. As you so eloquently put it moments ago. The Protector.
The Protector.
The Protector. I don't know why that just happened.
It's hard to take that seriously. It's still better than Rescue, though.
Rescue is terrible.
Oh, thank you so much. So I install this or whatever?
Yeah, go right ahead. We're talking about pirating software, kids. It's okay. Nobody knows us.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Pecan pie.
That's Colonel Girlfriend for you.
See, she understands the spirit.
So, the new... Now, again, all Avengers books are revolving around Osborn. This time they're trying to track him down through various... So they break up into groups to check things out.
And they come up with some interesting pairs. Like Hawkeye...
And
Spider-Woman. Because nobody could have seen that one coming.
Going off to Thunderbolt Island to check on the Thunderbolts.
To check on weird gray Hulk Hydra people. Which was just funky, and I couldn't deal with it very well.
Actually, S.H.I.E.L.D. people.
S.H.I.E.L.D. guys who, she admits that she's an undercover Hydra agent, too.
Well, that was a lie.
It's not totally a lie. It was a circumstantial lie. Because she wasn't busy double agenting at that moment.
Well, she's very popular.
So, they have a big fight. And then, who was it? Wasp or Ant-Man or Storm? Storm and the Red Hulk, for fuck's sake. Who thought that one up? Was he throwing darts at a board when he decided these?
Hey, you gotta break them up somehow.
Yeah, but Storm and Red Hulk,
How would you have split them up?
Protector and Red Hulk. I don't know.
Wasn't that too much power on one team?
No, it's fine. Clint and Novar. Yeah, Clint and Novar. Yes. No.
You're a sad, sad little man.
Yeah, but it makes you laugh, so fuck it. Iron Man and Novar. Yeah, talk about too much power on one team. Hi.
Well, it turns out that was a good plan, because once they co-opt Iron Man's armor...
Yeah, they needed somebody who could, kick that shit, so to speak. And that was great.
No, all the Avengers books are fun. The great thing about Bendis on these books is he gets a really good feel for the team dynamic.
And that makes it so coherent, really. So, even though you may look at it occasionally and be like, isn't that happening in the other book? It's easy to confuse the books because their tones are not that different.
Well, that and the fact that so many members are members of multiple teams.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like, Cap is on at least... he's in charge of the Secret Avengers. He's on the Classic Avengers. Spider-Man is on, 4 of them. Doctor Strange is now in the Defenders in the event. And if Doctor Strange can find the time to be on 2 fucking teams... Really?
It does stretch credulity occasionally. But,
so there's a certain level of... and yet somehow Mockingbird is still floating around.
Why is she still alive?
I'm hoping she's the mole, so she'll go away.
That's a great idea.
It's like, oh...
I'm fine with that.
Fuck you, go do gymnastics somewhere else.
I am absolutely... Take your batons.
You're extending metal pole.
Ew. Yeah. So, that gives us an in, kind of, on the several months late non-adjective Avengers annual.
Now, is this late because it came out late, or you got it late?
It must have came out late because it came in an order of things that were ostensibly new. So, I don't know what to say about that. The story takes place before Fear Itself, #1. And they're on a Quinn
so
carrier.
Thor is still around.
Yep.
For those of you who don't remember, which should be everyone, Wonder Man developed a team of the worst heroes he could find, turned them into villains to attack the Avengers. Because Avengers are bad for humanity.
Because, and again, it's the argument of, you people exist, therefore the bad guys exist. It was never, we were a response to crime and we fight crime. It was, a galactic level fucking invasion happened specifically because you're here. And I can't see where that logic comes from. The fucking Skrulls are going to show up whether they're superheroes on the planet or not.
Well, I think that I think you're oversimplifying the argument he's making here. This is a little more well thought out than the classic Batman. They attack because you live here.
Yeah.
Because the Batman one, you kind of aren't sure. Whereas with Simon Williams, he's like, well, look, and he's saying it in a crazy Ionic Man, lunatic-y kind of way. But we could talk about these things, but that never works. Only attacking you people works because that's all that you guys understand and do. Like, you lock people away. You make laws and decisions without any elected or real power, which are all incredibly valid points, and also kind of what Hammer is saying.
The official team is official. Cap is a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they are working under S.H.I.E.L.D.'s aegis. It's the Secret Avengers and the Street Avengers under Luke Cage that are completely outside of any law.
But the whole
and they addressed that through Osborn 2 issues ago.
Well, the fact that half of S.H.I.E.L.D. just jumped over to work for Osborn suggests that maybe none of these people should be making that level of decision-making. So as much as I loathe Wonder Man...
They need to fire everybody in S.H.I.E.L.D. and start from scratch is what it is. That thing,
except for Dum Dum
That
Dugan.
thing has more mold than a wet basement, okay?
Well, that's my point. And of course, you can't really fault the argument that the Avengers have caused some trouble as well. Because, how many things have they built? Or Tony Stark attacked, or somebody got drunk and blew something up. Or, think about some of the people they've made Avengers. You made Star Fox an Avenger. You deserve to get blamed for that.
Well, no, all he did was try to bang everything. I mean,
Well, that's horrifying. He also wore that suit in public.
Okay.
He thought that was an acceptable
That
haircut.
is not an Omega level threat. It's poor fashion sense, but it's hardly.
But some things, I did think that some things were done very well in this book. Like, the fight is pointless. The whole build-up, and then they attack and they defeat him in like 4 seconds. They defeat, the Avengers defeat Simon Williams' teams about as quickly as his team beat the new Avengers in the last annual. But when you took the individual interviews, where first off you find out who some of them are, and then they reveal their reasons for joining the team, I thought were very well done.
Well, what kind of drives me nuts is there are decisions that have to be made in the context of a story. In the context of a story that does not happen in the real fucking world. Okay? If you face an actual Omega level threat, right? Like fucking Thanos is coming to town. Okay? They'll have to cover something up somehow. Because that is just going to blow so many minds. And not even like the, 50s, we can't tell them there'll be a national panic routine. But, the psychological damage of knowing that death itself is literally coming to the fucking planet. So they can't just randomly let... And Simon Williams is saying all this is cover-up because they know they're doing criminal shit. Well, sometimes there's a lot of deals with the devils that we don't know about in the real fucking world, and we're probably a lot safer for them. Okay, maybe not a lot. That's probably stretching it a bit. But
Just a tad.
there's shit I don't need to know.
Well, I think the best part of this, the thing that I liked the most, was the whole... actually, there were two things I thought were really well done.
Yeah.
One was the fact that Beast and Simon Williams still had a relationship, which is like this classic mid-'80s Avengers history that no one's thought about the Beast and Simon Williams as being friends. And so that was really nice. Then on top of that, you've got the fact that Simon Williams is sitting there going, look, I might not even be real. I was brought back to life by the Scarlet Witch, who was clinically insane at the time, and none of you noticed. So I could be a figment of her fucked up imagination, and you don't have a clue.
And that's a good point. But what were they going to do? Scarlet Witch was going to go wackadoo one way or another.
Well, you know
okay,
what?
she
If
didn't
she
go
hadn't
crazy
been- nope.
because of her experiences on the Avengers.
Of course she did.
She didn't.
Of course she did.
What?
Dude, if she'd never been an Avenger,
Yeah.
she wouldn't have married a robot. She wouldn't have banged a robot and had fucked up half robot kids.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have been in this situation to have 90% of the fucked up things that happened to her.
No,
that
you know
drove
what
her
she
nuts.
would have done?
She would have
She'd have
been
been
an evil
continued
mutant.
to be a disciple of fucking Magneto.
Yeah, but she'd still be sane.
You don't know that.
True, but you don't know that she wouldn't be. My argument has just as much merit as yours.
Even in fiction, insanity is not always as simple as a single traumatic event. Just
No, but she had thousands of traumatic... That's all the Avengers have is traumatic events.
well, fights are fights. I don't know if you can call them traumatic.
Dude,
What?
half imaginary robot kids.
See, she was already going wackadoo at that point. Or you don't get. See, she was already on the way there. Take out the Avengers, it just would have taken longer.
Hey, you know what?
It just would have taken longer.
If one of the Avengers had just sat there and slapped her upside the head and be like, hey, he's a robot.
No. He's a sentient being. That's like saying Data can't bang,
I'll say that. I'll say that right now. I have no problem following that comparison. Also a robot.
And?
Don't bang things if you're a robot.
Robots have needs. You can't deny that.
Fine. Well, be like...
In the context of this fantasy Mylou, the Vision is a living, thinking being.
Be like Bucky, Robo Bucky, and go bang a
We don't know
Studebaker.
anything about Robo Bucky yet. He might not be banging anybody.
I stand by my Studebaker theory.
You don't know that yet. You have no way to know that yet.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just saying, if he's into classic women, he'd be into classic cars. It just makes sense.
It so totally doesn't follow at all. I can't see the cause and effect to the degree where he had to bring together the biggest group of losers and whine and bitch like a little baby about accountability.
All I know
Okay?
is he made D-Man even stupider, which means that I have less to worry about a revamp of D-Man, so well
All right,
done.
Simon, you're such a noble fucking soul. You can take on the Kree the next time they show up. Okay? How about that? You know, Annihilus gets a fucking invasion idea in his head and busts through Reed's fucking little...
Well, I'll give you Annihilus. The Kree actually, didn't that hinge on Simon Williams? Like, wouldn't he be your go-to anti-Kree guy?
Well, maybe then, not now.
No, well, not now. He's well, and he's not even in prison. He disappears.
All right,
from this.
okay, the Brood. All right, fine, fuck it. The Brood come to Earth because they want to place the fucking breed eggs again. All right, you know what? Fuck it. The Avengers are bad. They don't belong there. Everything in the universe is wrong because of them. Let Simon take care of it. He's the accountable one. He knows what's going on. He's the noble fucker.
Well, he's off in Hollywood making films and wearing red sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's hard to get a hold of. You have to call his agent.
Well, he has to be accountable, right? People have to go through him. He's got to know how to spend his time. Accountable, my ass. Bringing accountable into the superhero my list. There's no such thing. You can't have fucking accountability in superheroes. It's not possible. If they had accountability in superheroes, it had all been done in 1954.
What?
I mean, come on. You know how many crazy-ass things have happened through superheroes that they're just like... I mean, Damage Control is a profitable company because there's no accountability in superheroes.
Well, they pay for a lot of it.
How?
I don't know, but the average person can't
All right,
afford that.
Cap's $25 an hour page rate for Marvel does not pay for the Chrysler
please.
building going down.
Cap is not getting work with Marvel. He draws way too stiff. All right, we only got a couple left. What's next?
Avengers X Sanction.
Fuck this book.
I'm leaning toward that with you. Cable has gone batshit, and he thinks everyone in the universe is after Little Hope.
Dude, I love this creative team. Like, I think Jeff Loeb is a great writer. He had a big run on Cable back in the day that I did not read because it was Cable.
And Ed McGuinness can't go wrong.
Right, that guy's a phenomenal artist. But in the first two issues, he beats up the Falcon, Captain America, and Iron Man.
For absolutely no reason. He won't sit and talk and explain why he thinks everything's going to go so horribly bad.
I don't care about the no reason thing. He's Cable. He can do it because, I woke up on the wrong side of my clone body. I don't give a rat's ass about Cable. My problem is that you let Cable beat up Iron Man. You let him beat up Captain America. Falcon, fine, whatever.
It's rough then. I mean...
I'm still kind of rooting for the Falcon there, but at least I'm like, all right, he could probably take the Falcon. Once you get the bird out of the way...
Oh, come on. He can fight.
Yes.
He's been trained by Cap himself.
Yeah, but Cable is half metal. I mean, you punch the wrong side of his face and you're out one arm.
No, and that's where I was about to go, because all he's really got is the mechanical wings and a little bit of fighting skill.
No.
He's not Luke Cage. He doesn't have the invulnerable skin.
But when Cable takes out Captain America, I don't want to read it anymore.
No, I was not happy with that at all. And this is just the lead up to the actual Avengers versus X-Men.
Well, you know what? I mean, we got to check it out to see where the rest of it goes. But the next one is Red Hulk versus Cable, which should be the shortest comic ever.
Oh, you'd hope it would be, yeah. You'd think you'd just ploop him on the head and you'd be able to call it even. But, he won't... I know it's only 2 issues, but it's only 2 out of 4. So we're halfway done, and he hasn't said anything to anyone that would make him believe he's not a complete fucking lunatic.
It's because he is a complete fucking lunatic.
I know that, but he should be able to sit back for half a minute in a protector role of the future of mutant kind.
Time travelers go crazy.
They do.
I did like
That's
how
why
he
I
was
don't
talking
read
about
time
Cap
travel
as a time
stories.
He was telling Cap, "You're also a time traveler of a very different sort." Meanwhile, Cap's like, "Just keep talking. I'm going to punch you in a second." And then he doesn't. It's like, "Oh, I've been captured by Cable. Oh my god."
I can't believe Cable still exists. It is mind-boggling to me.
Well, you need to hold on to him in case you want to make Strife come back.
Ugh. Dude, why did you do that?
Somebody's listening. Somebody's writing a Strife storyline as we speak.
Not because of this show.
No,
Because if it is, I will punch you. If I ever see a credit box at the end, inspired by the conversation in the Mean Geek episode 94, I will punch you in the neck.
that is the most painful place to get punched. That's
It's
not
one of
remote.
them.
Yeah.
It's way up there. But maybe it'll get you to stop spouting gibberish every once in a while.
But you're pro Strife.
Like that. That kind of gibberish.
You love that, dude.
You are lying your ass off.
Dude, you're wearing a Strife t-shirt as we speak.
That is such a horrifying lie. Why are you doing this to me? Huh? Explain that.
It's Strife-tastic.
Stop.
Strife-tendous.
Okay. No, and Cable has the dumbest...
Strife-tacular.
Are you finished?
Probably not.
All right, wrap it up. You
And
got
Cable-
2 more.
Two more.
I'll
all
give
right.
you 2 more.
Well, if I gotta think now. If I can only do 2.
Strifulous?
That's just horrible.
Like fabulous.
I knew where you were going. It's just not good.
Well, it took one away from you, so whatever.
You don't get one of my 2.
What else were you going to use?
I'm still working it out. If I have to go through all of them and figure out the 2 I most want to go with. I know 5. I don't know 4 yet.
He's got the worst fucking name on the planet as well.
Cable?
Gable. And do you remember the origin of the name itself?
No, I do not.
Because he is a cable between times.
Really?
Yes.
Oh God, that's bad.
What'd I just say?
Strife-tendous.
Wow, that is so much worse than strifulous.
I know.
So you get one more. What's number 5? You said you had it.
I do. I just really want it to sound right. Super Strifolistic Expialidocious.
Oh, last book. We're calling it even at an hour 30. Year of Monsters, Lobster Johnson.
So Year of Monsters is apparently a, I don't want to say gimmick, but I don't know what a idea, I guess, that Mignola is going to do a different cover each month with a classic monster on it. So this would be the Mummy.
Gotcha.
So Year of Monsters doesn't seem to play into the Lobster Johnson storyline so much as the overall Mike Mignola world.
All right, so
storyline.
the next one could be another Hellboy book, but it's going to have Dracula on
Well,
it.
I don't know if he's going to do how many they're going to do, but
All right, let's look at the indicia and try to get a better idea. Okay? Mm-hmm. The official title of this particular book is Lobster Johnson, The Burning Hand. So it looks like it's just looks like I actually got a variant cover.
Oh, sweet.
Because otherwise, I mean, why doesn't it say anything about Year of Monsters on the inside?
I read it in like the letters page.
Oh, you did? I never read those.
Weird.
Did you actually read letters pages?
I read everything. You tell me to do my homework, I do my homework. It came into play here, didn't it?
I guess it did. But how did we enjoy the mobsters pretending they were fucking Native Americans?
Here's the thing with this. I love Hellboy and Lobster Johnson, Witchfinder, all these things. And what's cool about this is very classic pulp style, which is what Lobster Johnson is going for.
Absolutely.
In that he's barely even in it. Like, he attacks people once and disappears again, and at the end he's a glowing pair of eyes and a lobster's claw coming out
Which
of the dark.
is an awesome visual. Thank you very much. It really is.
So it was very cool. I think it's a lot of fun. I miss Mike Mignola drawing storylines, but I guess he's working on a Hellboy one right now.
Oh, good. So they got the, yeah, you're right. They got the plucky, they got all the pulp stuff.
Yep.
They got the plucky reporter girl. They got the foppish little gangster guy who's trying to make back deals in billiard rooms.
A nice but seemingly not that intelligent cop. Not dumb,
Yes.
but not up on the ball.
Yeah, he's not a brilliant fucking investigative force to be reckoned with, so to speak.
So, no, it's a nice little opening. Lobster Johnson is just fun. I'm a huge fan of the Shadow and the Avenger and all those 30s pulp style things, so this is right up my alley. And just further reminder that we have to get further into BPRD since we know next to nothing about it.
Yeah, I was thinking about grabbing a few of those because I mean they're unending. They're
There's
just
like 13 of them out there now.
yeah. There's just here's a series. here's the series. Here's the series. And they do give it a little weight in between so they don't burn out, which I'm insanely happy about.
Yes, that's always nice. Although,
that'll be one of our next big projects.
I guess Atomic Robo has a regular series coming out.
Yeah. I'm fine with that, too.
Right? All about
I
Atomic
got no
Robo.
problem with that. Well, kids, it's getting late. And we just want to remind you that there's still time at this point to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, email us at themeanergeek@gmail.com. Plop us a Skype mail at 203-433-4599. And contact us any other way you feel fucking appropriate so that we can give you a bunch of stuff in celebration of our upcoming 100th episode.
Dare to be great.
Do it, kids.
Bless you, fuckers.
Good night.
I just said up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.